We are starting a new journey. We are really, I am really getting very intense about shrinking my fibroids more because I've kind of been in this space where I really want to have the best body that I can have. I want to be in the best health that I can be. And honestly, I feel like the only thing that's holding me back or that's kind of left is really these fibroids. Now, I have been avoiding surgery for years and I'm fairly asymptomatic when it comes to fibroids. So it really hasn't been a problem. But one thing that I know, if you are somebody with larger fibroids, sometimes they don't even have to be large to do this, but I want my stomach to be flat. I it just is what it is. I know that that is a very vain reason to do this, but I do feel like, and that's not really the only reason I'm trying to do this, but that is a big reason. And honestly, I feel like that's okay. I feel like it's okay for me to, I had to kind of come to terms with that it is okay for me to want to have a flat stomach, you know? And I think the reason why this is even more so kind of urgent for me, or why I feel more strongly about it right now, is because I have been doing a lot of work on my body. I have been, really, I guess, perfecting my wellness routine, like my daily habits and stuff. And I have lost a little bit over 20 pounds. So I think just being able to see all this other progress in my life, and then there's this one thing that, I haven't made progress on in a while, I think that's something that is pushing me forward right now. So today I am going to kind of, I guess, do some preparation, just get some things prepared for the next week. Now, today is Thursday. I usually start prepping for the next week on Friday, because usually I will plan all my meals and stuff on Friday so I can shop Saturday and Sunday or get what I need by Monday. But today I'm doing it a little bit different, just because I want to do some sourdough bread for the upcoming week. I also want to do some chicken feet. What's it called? Chicken feet broth for the upcoming week. And so those take, like a day for me to actually make, and I have to time it a certain way so that it works with my schedule. So I'm gonna get that stuff ready for today, but also I want to talk to y'all a little bit more later about why I am, about some of the other things I'm doing. So, for example, I'm now seeing an acupuncturist, and I am also doing this. I guess you can call it's like a physical therapy program that deals with your, training you to be able to breathe again, training your core, your pelvic floor, your posture, which has a huge impact on a lot of other things in your body. And I've seen a lot of success with that. And so I'm going to talk more about that with you when we go over my mid-year review, because I don't know if I said it before, but we're going to do my mid-year wellness review. So I did another video where I talked about my mid-year wellness review, or I talked about doing a mid-year wellness review, but I was like, it would actually probably be more helpful if I walk through some things with you guys that I am doing, some of my goals, some of my previous goals, where I am with that, and what I'm doing going forward for the rest of the year. So before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and run my errands, because that's going to take me the most energy. And I did have an acupuncture appointment yesterday. And so I'm supposed to be taking it pretty easy today, which I feel like I just mentioned that I'm doing a lot of things and it doesn't sound easy, but it's not going to be a huge day. I've had a very slow morning. I woke up late. So for me, I am taking it easy. I didn't work out today. So I am taking it easy. But the first week that I did acupuncture, I was tired the entire week. It just wore me out. So hopefully this week isn't like that, but if it is, that's just a part of the process and I'm running with it. So I'm going to go ahead and feed my starter because I need it to be fed and bubbly before I make my bread this afternoon. And then we're going to head to the store to go get some of the things that I'm going to need for the upcoming week. I did not get to get my beets because apparently they were out of them, which I don't know. Maybe beets aren't in season right now. Maybe that's why. But I did stop at Whole Foods because I had a return to do there. They had some beets, but I felt like they were kind of expensive. So I'm going to try Sprouts. I don't know if I'll get to do that today. I might just do that tomorrow because I don't have to juice today. That's not my top priority for today. My top priority for today is the bread and the chicken feet broth. So I'm gonna unpack everything. I don't even think I'm gonna wash everything today since I'm not juicing. I'll probably just wash tomorrow. So usually if I don't wash stuff the same, or if I am not going to actually use anything, I will not wash it. I don't like to wash my produce until I'm gonna use it. So I just leave everything in the package and put it in the fridge. And I did get me some coconut water, y'all, because I want to have more berries. And I bought some of those wild blueberries from Trader Joe's. So I think what I'm gonna do is make me like a, not really a smoothie, but just do maybe a cup of coconut water and a cup of blueberry and some lime, just so I can get more berries in, and the wild blueberries have more antioxidants in them, so that I can just get more of those antioxidants while I'm getting the berries. Because blueberries have actually been shown to be great for reducing fibroids. So I'm going to be trying that, but I got everything I need for my bone broth and my bread. It's about 1:30 now, and looks like my starter. Ooh, yeah, it's visiting really well. Look at that, y'all. It has more than doubled in size because this is where it started, and I'm really loving this container. Just remember, you can literally just use a wide mouth mason jar. You don't need this. This is just something that I wanted. I just really liked it and thought this was a great idea for those days where I got a lot going on. This kind of would help me personally keep better track of when I'm feeding my sourdough starter and, if it's risen or whatever, if it's ready to use. But this one is definitely ready to use. So I'm gonna share the recipe that I've been using for my sourdough. I'm gonna share that in the description, and I'll also share if I can find a chicken foot broth recipe that is more like what I've been using. I will, or that's how I do it. I'll put that in the description too. Now, if I forget, y'all, just comment below and I'm happy to share the link with you. So I'm about to wash my veggies that I am going to use in the chicken feet broth so I can get that ready. The first thing that I got to do is boil some water because you want to boil your chicken feet first just to kind of clean it and remove all the impurities. So I'm actually going to get like a lime and kind of rub the feet down or whatever with that and rinse it, and then I'm going to boil. It's just something that I like to do. That's for the last few months. That's really how I've been doing a lot of my meat, just to make sure, even though I'm not eating the actual feet from this, I still recommend doing that for meat because I kind of feel like, and I think there have been some recent studies or something about this, but when you kind of marinate that meat, it makes it a little bit easier to digest and break down. So, and it kind of gets rid of some of the impurities from, the manufacturing process or even just, the farming of it. So, I'm about to do that. We're going to do that, and then we are going to go talk about this mid-year review. I got my chicken foot broth on. That's going to cook overnight. I got my sourdough rising, doing its first rise. I'm going to put it in the fridge tonight to do, I think it's called cold proofing or whatever. So I'm going to do that. I'll show you guys that toward the end. And also, I do need to go check on my garden today because I should have some cucumber in there. I don't know. My cucumber yield has not been great this season, but I guess it might be still kind of early. But anyway, let's go over my mid-year wellness review. So, like I said, I have done this, but I want to run through it with you guys because I think it'll be helpful to just see it in practice how I do this and what I talk about. So I actually have all of this information inside of a Notion board. And in my Notion board, I have all of my physical goals, be it my aesthetic goals as well as my wellness goals. It's all in there. But I'm going to go over a few key things because I really want to focus on wellness. And the first thing that we can talk about is my appointments. So I am pretty much good on most of my, annual appointments for the year. The big one that I have is my gynecologist appointment. And as I told you guys before, usually that happens toward the end of the year. I haven't had that yet. So I'm going to do that toward the end of the year. I can't remember if it's October or November, but that's kind of where it times out at. So with that being said, I really, really, really am working really hard to shrink these fibroids before then. So by the time I get to my ultrasound, I'm seeing some progress. Now, of course, with the ultrasound, I end up having to pay for that every time. That's not something that your insurance, well, at least my insurance doesn't normally cover it. But it's something that I like to do every year to make sure that they aren't growing or there's no other issues that I need to be aware of. Because I like to be proactive. I don't want to wait until I'm having a problem to start addressing things. Like, we want to just be on top of that. So those are my only 2 appointments that I have left for the year. I've done my dental appointments. Actually, I'm trying to remember. I did some blood work, but I'm trying to remember if I did that at the end of last year or was it early this year. So I got to remember that. Now, the last time I got my blood work done, my vitamin D was really low again. So I have started some supplementation on that. Now, I've actually redone my entire supplementation routine, or I guess you could say refreshed or revamped. Now, I'm going to share some stuff with y'all, but I'm not going to share specifics about some of what I'm doing. And that is just because I am trying some new things. I'm trying some new supplements. I haven't been doing it long enough to suggest it or to, tell you that this is something good that I'm doing. So I'm just going to name generally what I am taking right now. My big things that I am taking right now is I actually increased my vitamin D supplement or the amount of vitamin D that I'm taking, but this time I got a vitamin D supplement with K2 in it. Before I was just taking the vitamin D, but this time I did one with, it's a little bit more vitamin D and it has the K2. The other thing that I am supplementing for is I'm using this supplement that is supposed to be good for your gut health. It's not a probiotic, but it is supposed to be good for your gut health. That's one of the ones I'm not going to talk too much about until I've tried it for a while. And I can give you guys, just let you know if it's really worth it, if I feel like it did anything for me. The other thing that I've added, and I've talked about this quite a bit on this channel, I think, is Elix Cycle Balance. The reason why I'm very happy to talk about that is because, first of all, it's that girl of, like, if you want to do some herbal supplementation, I really like the concept of this brand. I like that it's customized to you or personalized to you. That's one of my favorite things. And I do have a code for them. I think my code or my link gets you like 10% off. So if that's something that you want to try, again, I loved it. I loved even my interactions with them, their onboarding for take starting to use their products. I really enjoyed with them. So I've been using that. I'm also using another supplement that I will not be sharing, just not yet. And the other thing that I am taking, I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, my iron. So I am now doing my iron. Um, I do it about 3 or 4 times a week. I'm actually thinking about increasing that a little bit. My iron was okay at my last doctor's visit. It was like borderline. I'll say that. It was borderline. So that's why I'm not taking my iron supplement more regularly, but I was taking it about twice a week, but I think I'm going to up that to 3 times, 3 or 4 times a week, and that's just because I am also seeing an acupuncturist right now. More on that in a second. But that is my whole supplementation routine that I am doing right now to really, like I said, get these fibroids down, get some things that were in my blood work back to where they need to be. And I'm hoping just for a way better appointment by the time I see my gynecologist, because I usually do my blood work there. I am also looking for a new, just general practitioner. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not a general, I think it is a general practitioner, but just, a regular doctor to see. I had one, but she moved, and so now I'm looking for somebody else. To be honest, it really hasn't been a priority for me because the things that I would get that person to do, I usually get done at my gynecologist. However, I'm considering either that or I'm considering using one of those functional memberships. So if I do that, I will share what that's like with you guys. And the reason for that is because I would like to just get a full workup, which I've done it with a doctor in the past, but it was really expensive. Um, I guess it wasn't horrible, but I did end up getting an $800 bill afterwards. So I'm hoping to avoid that, which I'm looking into some of those. I think there's one called Function. There's like a couple different ones where you can pay a monthly fee and get your blood work done. And usually they also come with, like, you can meet with a doctor and stuff too. So I'm actually thinking about doing that instead this year, instead of just going to a GP and paying close to $1,000 to have everything done. So still figuring out what I want to do with that, or what is going to be the most cost effective and efficient option for me with that. Okay, so the next thing that I am adding to my wellness routine is acupuncture. Yesterday was actually my second acupuncture session. Now, I've been to an acupuncturist before. It was years ago, probably like 8 years ago. It's been quite some time, but I am starting to see one again. This time has been a little bit different for me because I just found myself to be absolutely exhausted. The session that I did last week, it left me exhausted the whole week. Today, I am feeling okay. I'm feeling pretty good, but that's something that I'm doing right now. I'm adding in to my, I guess, wellness routine. And I am having to pay for that out of pocket, but I feel like I just feel led to do that right now. I feel like when I did it before, I got really good results. In fact, that's when I had the biggest results, is when I was seeing an acupuncturist the first time. So that's why I'm trying that again, along with some other changes. Now, the reason that I am doing my iron supplement a little bit more frequently now is because she mentioned that my, what does she call it? I forget what they call it, but basically my blood is low, is what she said. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that your iron is low, but I do need some blood. I do know that I need some blood building. So, in addition to the acupuncture, something else that she suggested was that I start eating more red foods. So, like more red and purple foods and stuff, those are blood building foods. And the other thing is no dairy, which I realize I don't necessarily eat tons of dairy, but I realize that I do eat some things that might just have dairy in it. So I'm just having to be a little bit more careful with that. But those are her two big lifestyle changes for me, is the incorporating more red foods. So again, that's why I was trying to find the beets earlier so I can make me some beet juice. Still haven't found them, but maybe I will go to the store later today, go to Sprouts and try to see if I can find that. The other thing that I reviewed was my routines. Honestly, I don't really struggle with my routines, or I'm not struggling right now. Um, I've been doing pretty good with keeping a routine, but also I'm not super rigid. I'm not doing like these long 3 hour wellness routines. I keep it very simple. So, my biggest thing is going to bed at the same time every night. And I've been doing okay with that recently, but that's going to be my biggest focus and the thing that I probably need the most as far as routine right now. Another thing that I really want to accomplish or finish or whatever is I started this physical therapy program, I guess you can call it. So it's called Ab Rehab by Nancy Anderson. And the reason why I did this is because, like I mentioned to y'all earlier, I want a flat stomach, okay? So I realized that I was losing quite a bit of weight everywhere, but not really my tummy area. So, mind you, I was noticing that the rolls and stuff that I had around my stomach were gone, but my stomach wasn't actually getting smaller. So that's why I started her program. And I highly recommend, if you have either had a child or you've had some kind of abdominal surgery, I highly, highly, highly recommend her program. Not only does it target your abdominal wall, which I did have some ab separation still from having my son, and of course, all these years walking around with that, in addition to having fibroids. I did her program. Now, if you do have very large fibroids, you do want to consult, a healthcare professional before you do that. You might even want to go see a physical therapist a couple times before you start her program to make sure that that's appropriate for you. So I started doing her program, love it. It's 4 phases. I just finished the last phase, I think yesterday or the day before. So I have about 21 more days of that left. Like I said, it's been amazing for me. I can see the difference in my posture, in how my body looks. And I also think that because I've been doing that, I feel like because you learn how to do that diaphragmatic breathing and stuff when you're doing her program, you learn how to breathe better. I feel like that has helped with my digestive issues. I can't prove it, but I think that there is a correlation there, but highly recommend it. I will link her program below. I don't think I have a discount code for her, but maybe I can reach out and see if I can get a discount code for y'all. If I do, I'll put that down below with the link to her program. Let's see. And then my last thing that I analyze is just my habits, my daily habits that I need to work on. And my two big habits that I need to work on right now are my water intake. That's why I got this thing. And also my fiber. So I take psyllium husk on days where I know I haven't hit my fiber. I'll take a little or what is it, 2 tablespoons of psyllium husk in some juice. Drink that real fast, but also when you're taking that, you got to make sure that you're super hydrated, because it can, and you want to ease into it with the amount that you're taking. So if you already don't get enough fiber, just make sure that you are hydrated when you're taking your psyllium husk. So those are the big things that I got to review in my wellness review. I'm excited to shrink these fibroids. I feel like it's just time. I actually feel like I'm just ready, and this is not going to be as hard for me. I just feel like it's time, y'all. And so I'm excited, a little bit nervous to be sharing this as I'm doing it, because there are some thoughts of, what if I fail? What if this doesn't work out like I want it to? But I can't even focus on that, because at the end of the day, I decided to share my journey in general with you guys, and this is part of my journey. Now that we have done a little admin work, I'm gonna go outside, get a little fresh air, check on my garden, and I wanna show y'all my cucumbers. They look a little weird, so y'all tell me in the comments if you know why they look like this. I don't know, they're just not giving this season, and I'm a little bit disappointed, but y'all take a look at it and tell me what you think. If you're a gardener and you know what's going on with my cucumbers, please chime down in the comments and let me know what the heck is going on with my cucumbers. Okay, y'all, if y'all see my overgrown grass, do not judge me. Okay, so let me show y'all. Look at that. You see that? Oh, I did get one good one. Ooh. Okay, babes, I am about to wrap this up, but make sure you stay until the very, very end to see the bread that I made. And also be sure to like this video, subscribe, and also share this with somebody who is on their own wellness journey, their own fibroid journey. And I will see you guys in the next video.